Alrighty then, another good day in the neighborhood at allpointstv.com, formerly known as Flint Talk Radio. Ow! How you doing back there, John?
Doing really well.
How's it feel to be allpointstv.com?
It's different. I have a hard time, like when I log in, I got to switch over to the new login, and
You put in the password for Flint Talk.
Yeah,
It doesn't work.
it's a fight. I mean, it was so habitualized, And,
Right. Well, anyways, today I want to welcome my first time guest, but not my last time guest, Miss Joyce Cade Heiche. And she is from of Impact Recreational Art Program. She also has a blog talk radio show, which I was her guest earlier this month. That's the first time I ever been interviewed. But anyways, today she's going to come on and talk about what they're doing in her of impact programs, the recreational art program, and then we'll switch over to the blog talk a little bit and just see what's going on. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Miss Lisa.
And we've been looking forward to this.
Oh, I have to. I was a little bit nervous last night, I was like, oh, Lord, So, I had to run out and get some makeup, Didn't want to scare you this morning.
She had to go and get all pretty-fied. So now what's been going on, because when we first met, we met at another event. And so we talked about your program, and it's of impact.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, how did you come up with that name, of impact?
Well, because basically that's what we want to do in a community is make some type of difference, a major difference. And, when we were looking at different names, well, they already had, for impact. So I said, well, why don't we just put an of in front of it, and seemed to work.
It seemed to work. Now you have a recreational arts program, and that's all part of this of impact umbrella, because it seemed like you get ready to branch out and be big. Radio and recreation. I mean, you get the TV program. That's next.
I want to be like Oprah,
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be Gail.
That's right. I love it.
Okay, so tell us about the recreational art program.
Okay. Well, basically, we came up with this. Been working on it for 2 years, and I'm a honorably disabled veteran. Went through Desert Storm, and the VA, they have a good program, but it's not enough for all the people that are coming back. From Iraq and Afghanistan. You have all those people coming back, and then you have the people that are retiring, that did World War II, that did the Vietnam, and since they're retiring, and now they feel that, they don't have anything to do now, and now they have secondary PTSD. So you have all those people to deal with as well. Right. Now, Women Serving Women Veterans, when I got with them, it was through Carrie Miller originally. She introduced me to Arlene Callahan. What they have is they cater mainly to female veterans, and they've been doing this for 4 years. They're located out of Brighton, Michigan. So shout out to Arlene. She's doing a fabulous job. She's diversified. She does all kinds of things with the ladies. Once a month, what we do is we get together and just talk and eat and and share our feelings. So from there, I told her about the program that I wanted to start, and we decided to combine our resources, and especially with VSA Michigan. VSA Michigan is a sublet of VSA International.
Oh, okay.
That was started approximately 45 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, by one of the Kennedys. One of the Kennedy children.
Yeah, because the one that the child was autistic or something.
Yeah. So off of that, the Kennedy Center and the Kennedy Foundation. So that branched off, and like I said, they have it all across, the country and international, the VSAs.
Right.
And they geared their stuff towards, going in a classroom and teaching, children with learning difficulties. And now they wanted to do something to help the veterans.
Right.
So that just came in real handy. Carol Kincaid, she has really been my rock, and she has been my program director for VSA Michigan.
Right.
An executive director. Oh my gosh, Pamela Hawkins, she's
Yes.
been fabulous.
I used to work with Pam at U of M.
Oh,
She's a
extraordinary.
go-getter.
She is.
Yeah.
So she's been going out for the grants, and Arlene has been doing the public relations. And basically, what we do is we try to get the individual, because the first step is to realize that you have PTSD. I was a nurse, and I didn't realize that I had it until there was an incident that just channeled it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I do have this. So, like I said, I went to get some help, and the thing about it is that you only have a certain amount of time in certain programs with the VA. Okay, and so after that certain amount of time, that's it. So I wanted to expand upon that.
Right,
And so
right.
what we do is, as long as we're, being funded, or as long as we can, get it out, we're going to get the information out to people. Like I said, first you have to realize that you have the issue. And the thing about PTSD is that it never goes away. You just have to learn to adjust and to live with it and know what your stressors are.
Right, right. Now, PTSD is one of those things that's sort of like a hidden disability. You can pull that chair out. We're going to welcome our second guest. No, don't move the light. Don't move the light. Just pull the chair. He's going to have
Just
to
pull the chair.
readjust it. Just sit right there. That's one of those, like a hidden disability. So unless people automatically know that you have PTSD, then do they give you like medicine? Or because we met a guy at Dave and Buster's that said he had it, and he said they gave him all kinds of medicine for it, and they retired him out and everything. And he was like 35 years old.
Wow. Well, like I said, VA has an awesome program. GHS, was it Genesee Health System, that's formerly Community Mental Health Systems. We're trying to work together with them as well. See, what we do is that we just not instead of, but with this, because we do our things either weekly or once a month,
Right,
and sometimes that's not enough. Some people need this every day. So that's why we try to make sure that people who are in our program are affiliated with either the Veterans Administration or GHS. Okay.
So that's who will pay for them, their meds or whatever they need.
Well, again, if you're honorably discharged veteran, then it should be, run through, what type of insurance that you have.
Right.
And again, there are ways around that if you don't. And that's what, I'm working with a great group of people. Stephanie Zarb from Buddy to Buddy, she's a new program director there. She's been fabulous. She knows the inroads to, normally used resources and resources that are not, normally used.
And how does this program work in with that? Because when we were talking about having something for them to do, how do they get involved with a program like this?
Well, basically, like I said, right now we've been working with Women Serving Women Veterans, with their veterans. What we do is we branch it to the different type of groups that we're dealing with. Right now with them, because these ladies are awesome. They're highly intelligent. Like I said, most of them are all have been in an area of, when they were in the military, should I say, of authority. So, they're intelligent, they know what they're doing. So what we did is a spiritual kind. That's why I said Carol has been really instrumental in this, what we're doing.
Right.
So we had something like a talking feather. And once you held that feather, what you had to do is, that was it. Anything that you said or did that's what was focused on, okay? And what that was is like an icebreaker, okay?
Okay.
So once we did the icebreaker, then we go into bibliotherapy and poetry therapy. Basically, it's like opening up a book and reading it to them and having them identify with the character and seeing how the character deals with the situation kind of helps to motivate you to deal with your situation differently, because it's just a different way of thinking.
Right.
Now, like I said, some people may need the meds, some people may not.
Right.
Some people may need a more naturopathic way of doing things, because right now what I'm doing is that I have like a and that's with my doctor's, supervision, is I have a naturopathic regime and the medicines that I just have to have. That's what I take, because I have post-traumatic stress syndrome, traumatic brain injury, and, dealt with military sexual trauma.
Oh.
So, so all of those things, right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds terrible, but it doesn't seem like anything,
Well,
with
yeah.
your personality and everything, you wouldn't be able to just tell that you've gone through all those things, because you would think you'd be kind of like depressed all the time or something, you know.
Well, and I was for a while, but then, and my daughter was like, Mom, you got to do something. And that's one of the things is that, from my family history, my dad was, very instrumental in this community.
Right.
And, from there, I was like, you're right, I do. And, from that, it made me realize that, I got to do something for our fellow veterans.
Right. That's how you ended up with Carrie, because y'all can work together. And then she mainly focused on female veterans, I guess, because it's really nothing for females to do compared to what the men do.
It's not like, for a perfect example, was it last weekend, this lady, she had called homeless. There was not one place that I could put her that was, in this vicinity. And the closest place was 70 miles away.
Oh,
and that's because, everyone was full. And again, for a female veteran, you got to be careful, you got to handle it differently.
Yeah, you can't just put them anywhere, like you got to worry about their safety. And what if they have families and whatever,
Exactly.
you got to...
Yeah, and you throw children in the loop, and most female veterans have children.
Right. It's pretty sad.
It
I
is.
don't understand how the government, will bring, your 18-year-old child into the military, and then when they come out missing limbs or brain functions or something like that, and then they tell them they don't have any insurance for them, they can't find a job for them, they have no housing for them. I just don't understand how they can rest at night doing that. I mean, how does one do that? You bring them in to fight for us, but when they come back, they get nothing.
Right. Well, that's why, we've got to fight for them ourselves, as fellow veterans,
Right.
I think it was the FOE down in Corona Road, and she said it her best, it's like, how do these veterans come out and deal with not having anyone, for them? It's hard.
That's what I don't understand, and they do it all the time. And when I see the real young ones, like right out of high school, go over and get killed, and I'm just like,
yes,
devastating. Whether it's men or women. So I'm glad that there are programs like yours and Carrie's that are moving forward. And you've only been doing it a couple of years, and I didn't know how long you've been doing it, but it seemed like it's moving.
It's moving.
It's moving.
And I love it,
Yeah. I mean, now what kind of backing do you get, and what kind of support does this group have? Like, you get any government, anything like that?
Well, right now we have a couple of private donors. I have a lady that has her own foundation that's been assisting us. I've put out personal loans. We're working on microloans and grants right now.
Right.
And basically, like I said, the organizations that we're affiliated with, these organizations, and the Detroit Writers Guild, I have to throw Detroit Writers Guild, and they've been established for over 35 years.
Oh, okay.
As well. All these organizations, have that support, and the community that they work in usually know them and they're well established. We also, insist that whenever we have a meeting, that we have either a social worker, right now we have Pam Pemberington, who is with the VCAT, which is like a sublet of the VA. The vet centers were established, especially for Vietnam veterans who were suspicious of the VA and anything dealing with the government.
Right.
So they're their own little, subsidy right there. So, they keep their files right there, their information is right there, and if you feel more comfortable with them, a lot of them, it's easier to get into them than it is to the VA system. Because, like I said, you have a certain amount of time that you have to do a program with the VA.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
And then after that, what happens?
Good question. Seriously.
Nothing happens.
And like I said, I'm not, I like to work with the VA and with the GHS, but like I said, they're overwhelmed. It's just too many people, and you just can't throw money at it.
Yeah. And people are constantly coming home. I mean,
Yes.
like when they bringing home 30,000 at a time.
Yeah, we just had some troops arrive, was it last week?
Yeah, I mean, what happens
Davis,
to
I
all
think
them?
it
They
was
bringing
Davis.
tons and tons of them home, but then when they come home to nothing. If they don't already have a family when they leave, they're like SOL when they get back.
That's right, and that's the main thing about these homeless individuals is that they're coming here. Like they have this one individual, poor lady. she had to come because, that radius issue, with, custody. But she didn't have anyone here, so she was homeless with her children.
Man.
But she had to come here because of, the divorce decree.
Right. She had to stay in a certain area.
So, yeah, see, and it's like, I've learned that it's circumstances, and that these people aren't, intelligent. It's not like they don't have everything going for them. It's just life circumstances.
Right. So what else is going on with you versus other than this? Now, we touched a little bit about the Blog Talk now. How did you get involved with that? And tell me about what Blog Talk is.
Blog Talk Radio, all you need to do is have a computer and a phone, okay? And you can set up your own network. I worked on 2 previous ones before. And so I was like, wow, I really like to chat because I can chat. My mother used to come tell, you don't know any strangers, do you?
I know, that's us, we're talkers. You have to like bring it in sometime.
Right. But that's like, wow, I just like to talk. So, and I just enjoy. And with the literary world, I've been writing since I was in second grade, and I kept all of my writings, and then I published, a couple of books, with my poetry. Okay. And like I said, from there, me and my producer, Derek Ferrier, we just decided to do a show and start with the literary world, and it was just, you don't have to have a book, but if you do, that's awesome. We'll talk about the book, or if you just love writing, or if you just love to read, we just love to interview, and get different perspectives.
Right.
So that's where that channeled off of. We also have a Veterans Concern shows that he's getting up, and we have a lady, Lorraine Burnett, that has a spiritual guidance show, and she's from California. And her show was on free conferencing, and she's bringing it to our network, our of Impact Network.
Right.
So we have several shows in development. We're going strong with that. We interviewed you. We interviewed Bruce, Marty Embry, Sharice Bradley. We've had a lot of good interviews.
And see, since I'm a first-time author, I do read a lot. So, I guess I fit in there a little bit because when I decided to write my book, I started at 20 plus somewhere in there, but I figured I wasn't old enough. I kept thinking, well, I haven't lived enough. What do I have to write about at 20 years old? So then, I just sort of cast it aside, and then it was like, okay, now that I'm retired, I need to just go ahead and do it. And so I did the little tip of my life, and then maybe I might do a part 2, or I might just go all extreme the other way. I don't know, it might be a shock jock book.
But I'm pitching it because I love this book. I love it. I was laughing. I was like, oh, this woman is awesome. That's what I'm like.
And that's it, the Hardcore Survivor. I tell you.
Yes.
So anybody want to pick that up, you can get it at lulu.com, or you can check me out on Facebook. Lisa is Lesa Quade, Quade. And I probably have some that I keep in the trunk of my car.
It's very inspirational. Very inspirational.
Well, I'm glad. That was one of the things. It's like I want to let people know what it's like, and then if maybe you can inspire when people are like, well, I can't do this or I can't do that, then maybe you can say, well, yes, you can, because my grandmother taught me is like, you don't say I can't, and it's like not in my vocabulary. If there's something I can't do, then it has to be I really can't do, like jump off the side of a mountain. Can't do it.
That's right. No Thelma and Louise.
No Thelma and Louise, although that would be cool.
Well, we just go for the drive, not the cliff.
And then the stop. Kick up the dust and,
That's right.
But now if anybody want to get in contact with you to get into this program or even be on your show, do you have any contact information that you want to give out?
Yeah, give out, because I'm sorry, I got to look it up. I'm getting old here. I can never look up my... remember my number, but we're located at G3560 Flushing Road, Flint, Michigan 48504. That's our address. Our office hours are usually Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Make sure you call first, because I am everywhere right now, and oh my goodness, So let me see. I'm sorry, hon. I'm trying to look it up because it's a area code 320 number, and I don't know how we picked that one out. 634-6760.
Okay.
And that's the Of Impact show line. So that's 320-634-6760.
Okay, so we thank Joyce for coming in today, and we're going to switch over to my guest number 2, Mr. Bruce Bradley. Is that you?
That is me.
They have him slide. At least they have him slide a little closer to the other guest. Okay.
Oh, come closer this way?
Yep.
Okay, come close so he can get you in the
Slow-
picture. Is he in?
Just a little bit more if you can, because I mean, I want to get his other shoulder in.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good.
We in?
Yep.
Okay, so I understand that you are part of the Tapology that's coming to Flint and that you do every year?
Yes. This is our 12th annual festival and concert.
So are you a tapper?
Yes, I am. I'm the founder and CEO of Tapology.
How long you been tapping?
I started tap dancing late. I've been doing it for about 30 years. I was about 33 when I started.
You ever heard of buck dancing?
Yes.
Oh, well that's good because my uncle used to do it. And I didn't know what it was. I just thought of it as tap dance, but he used to say, no, that's buck dancing. And I was going to ask you that too, and since you know.
Well, it's a form
Of tap dancing.
Yeah, it's a form of tap dancing. It's part of the evolution of tap dancing.
Yeah. And what made you want to start tap dance? You say you've done it 30 years.
Well, I was, Flint used to have a great dance culture. People who grew
Well,
up
I'm not from Flint,
in the 50s. There was a lot of public dancing. This was a great entertainment. In most of the schools, you had dances after roller skating, and you had the IMA Auditorium, you had the Michigan Theater, the National Guard Armory, Father Blasco Hall, and these were areas where young people come together, and dance was a very important social part of our experience as young people.
Yeah.
So I learned to be a pretty good social dancer. My daughter, my sister, actually my older sister used to make me dance with her. There was a period of time when we would watch television while our parents were, one parent was going to work and one was coming back, and we'd have to be at home alone, and we would watch American Bandstand.
Yeah, because that's what I watched too.
And she was old, and she would make me get up and dance with her. So I learned to be a pretty good social dancer as a result of that.
Right.
Later on, I got involved in theater in college, and I began working professionally as an actor, singer. And I was working around people who were trained dancers and doing musical theater. So while I was in Toronto, I studied under one of my cast members, a guy by the name of Mickey Costello, and I learned. I was interested in learning tap. I used to play the congas. I was into percussion. I was always fascinated by tap dancing. The old films of Bill Bojangle Robinson and the Nicholas Brothers.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, Sammy Davis Jr. I remember
Gregory
watching
Hines.
those as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
When I started working in the business, I was around people who were trained dancers. I said, well, I'm going to stay in this business. I need to learn how to really dance.
Right.
So I started studying tap while I was in Toronto. And then when I came back to Flint, after the show had ended, I was watching television and I saw these old guys dancing, and they were from Detroit. They were called the Sultans.
Oh, okay.
And I told my wife, I said, I want to dance with those guys. She said, you don't even know who they are. I said, they're in Detroit. I'm going to get to know them.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I was doing a show called Stevens and Stewart, which was a two-man vaudeville show. And we had been running in Chicago and touring it, and we were in Detroit for an extended run. And I got a chance to first become familiar with some of the members of the Sultans, which was Mr. Lloyd Story. He was the leader of the Sultans while I was doing that show. And then later, a friend of mine, a young lady by the name of Kathy McFarland, who used to be a choreographer and teacher at McCree Theater while she was attending Kettering. That time it was GMI. Yeah, she knew I was interested in learning tap, and she said, you should come take some classes from my teacher, Lloyd Story at the Center for Creative Studies. So I got a chance to, I went down, took classes every Monday, and I had begun teaching, the little tap that I knew to kids here through, down at Burston, along with Sheila Miller Graham. She was doing her dance, and she didn't have a tap teacher, so I began working with the kids. So I was going down learning stuff from Lloyd. and then ultimately, Lloyd ended up joining the cast of Black and Blue. And during this time, I also got a chance to tour with a show called Stagger Lee. And I worked with a guy by the name of Kevin Ramsey, who was a phenomenal dancer, Broadway dancer, and I was exposed to people who were doing it professionally. And I would try to steal steps whenever I could, you know. So that led to an opportunity when Lloyd started doing Black and Blue. His partner became ill with cancer, and they had a two-man act, and he needed someone to replace his friend and his partner. And I auditioned, and I got the role. And next thing I knew, they were flying me to Switzerland to join the cast of Black and Blue. And then I was around all these fabulous dancers, you know. So I got a chance to, I learned a lot, you know, and then when I came back, I continued to dance and go to tap festivals.
Right.
I went to St. Louis, and I took some kids to the Human Rhythm Project in Chicago, and it was just fabulous. They got exposed to some of the greatest tap dancers in the world, you know, Henry Latang and just a Jimmy Slide and Savion Glover.
I don't know it. Oh, I know Glover.
Yeah,
I know
all
that.
of these,
that
all
name.
of these, the Fayard and Nicholas, Fayard Nicholas, the Nicholas brothers. They were still alive then. So you know, that had a great influence on the kids,
Right.
and I felt that this would be great if we could do something of this magnitude here in Flint, because the kids just took to it like fish in water. They just took it in. A lot of them, you know, have gone on with illustrious careers in the business as dancers. And so we began doing tapology to expose more kids to this great African-American dance form, because it's an American dance form, but it's got a great African influence.
Yeah.
From many of the dances arrived from the buck dancing and the
Yeah.
African traditions of dance. That was all transferred to the dance form. And some of your most noted masters of tap were African American men, especially.
Yeah.
So it was a great history, a great culture that I embraced and have begun sharing with the community and people who come to our city. So it's been a draw, and we bring in some of the great jazz musicians, and we continue to try to build a culture of dance in our community.
Yeah. Well, I would rather see tap dancing than the bumping and grinding any day.
Oh, yeah.
Because those kids do not know how to dance. I think you need to do it like in all four corners of Genesee County to get kids in there and get them off that bump and grind and stuff.
And no twerk t-shirt.
Yeah, that's what you have. No twerking, thank you. I mean, you know, come on.
Well, you know, tap dancing is very difficult. And
That would be a challenge for them.
And some people, you know, have more of an aptitude for it. I've had to work very hard to learn it.
Yeah.
But it's percussive. You know, there's a lot of balance involved. There's a lot of dexterity of movement of your feet.
Yeah.
Movement, style. It's like a drummer with you know, you see a drummer, you think you can just go pick up the sticks and go play.
Right.
Until you get there and you find out.
I know.
You
I always wanted to play the drums and the
You have to come to it
piano.
humbly.
Couldn't do either one. I always wanted to, but never mastered either one. I
So-
took a couple lessons, and that was about it.
And there are a lot of benefits. The memorization and learning the steps, the overcoming the fear of failure. You know, it's a lot in tap dancing, because you have to be determined in order to master the rhythms and to be able to perfect them, and also the teamwork. Much of what you learn in tap is shared information.
Oh, okay.
You get certain techniques, and then, you know, the creativity kicks in. You embellish upon that, but a lot of it is shared from one dancer to the other, and and dancers what we call steal from each other.
Yeah, I like watching it because I think one of the most fun parts of the tap I like is like when they slide on the heel. You know, you do so much and then you go bzzz, like this. I could just see me falling over. But they have that rhythm and they can just stop on a dime and then just keep going. Because I used to love watching Sammy Davis Jr. because before Gregory Hines, you know, we watched Sammy Davis Jr. and that. And he was like the only little black guy out there tap dancing and everything. And I love tap. And it's just one of them things that I never could do.
Well, you know, Sammy's a great dancer. And he was one of the most visible people that we got a chance to see because he had the opportunity to be in television and film. But there were a lot of great dancers over the years that have never gotten recognition, which is part of what we do. We honor a historical dancer or someone who has promotes the dance, the art of tap dancing. This year, our honoree is actually a jazz pianist, Miss Jerry Allen, who is world-renowned musician. But she promotes tap dancing, you know, all around the world. Matter of fact, my teacher, Mr. Lloyd Story, was on her first album.
Right.
So we're honoring Jerry this year for her contribution to the art of tap dance.
You know, it's funny when you said pianist. I was watching one of the reality shows, and the girl said, she was talking about her band. It's so funny. She said, "We have a pianoist." Have you ever heard that before?
No, I never.
I thought it was hilarious because they were just all dialed up, made up, and everything. And then when that came out of her mouth, I was just like, "Oh no, she didn't say it."
Wow.
A pianoist.
Well, we make errors.
I just thought it was funny. It was hilarious.
I like your retort.
He
Well,
just
you
like,
did understand what she was making reference to.
I knew she meant a pianist, but then you know Red Skelton used to always have that joke about his dog being the pianist.
Oh gosh. Red was bad.
Did you watch Red Skelton?
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. See, they
Okay.
never know. They never know, and you putting them words together like that.
That's right.
But now you're having it at the Whiting.
Our
And that's
concert.
usually where it is.
Our
Cause it look like
concert.
you have a couple of 3 things. That's
Well, we
going
do a
on.
whole festival.
Okay.
And the festival begins Thursday at the Flint Institute of Music. We bus in kids from the surrounding schools, and they take classes from our guest artists. They also get a historical lecture from a noted historian, Mr. Daniel Dawson from Columbia University, and renowned Diane Walker, who is a historian and great dancer, tap dance educator. They do historical presentations to the kids to show them the African influence on the art form. Also, they get a mini performance, and that's during the morning time, Thursday and Friday. Then Friday we begin our master classes, and that's open for beginning level, intermediate, and advanced level classes, and they're all conducted at the Flint Institute of Music. Saturday classes continue. For lunch we have our honorary luncheon, which we honor a noted person. And this year, like I said, Jerry Allen will be noted, and it'll be hosted this year at the Michigan Room.
Oh,
We normally would do it at the Sarvis Food Center, but unfortunately they've closed that. So
I know, it just
we have a
like
new
disappeared
site
all of a
this year.
sudden.
It'll be at the Michigan Room, the University of Michigan. And then classes resume. We have a competition that Saturday night at the Flint Institute of Music's auditorium. Then we have a historical lecture for the public that morning, early that morning at the Flint Institute of Music. And then we move to the Whiting after classes end at 1 o'clock for our run through and our rehearsals for the show at 7 o'clock call at the Whiting Auditorium for our Embracing the Legacy concert.
Oh, okay. So I see you have tickets for everything. You got Saturday at U of M Michigan at the banquet room. They're $18.
Yeah,
That's for the lunch.
That's for the luncheon, yes.
And then you got the dance classes are $25 from 8 to 80. I like that number.
And we also have classes for all levels. We have adult level classes, we have beginning level classes, and we have intermediate to advanced. So
Yeah.
we have classes for all ages. You know, our classes usually start. Kids need to be at least 7 years old up. You know?
So they can stand up.
Yeah, so they can take instruction. We even provide shoes.
Oh, okay.
And we try to promote the art of tap dancing. We're trying to build a culture in the community.
So they have to wear the right shoes from the beginning.
Well, yeah, they have to have the tap shoes, and we have shoes for kids who don't have shoes. We have a shoe bank that we allow them to use.
Oh, okay.
But one of our fastest growing classes is our adult class. We have a number of seniors who come every year and participate, and we have beginnings adults. Sometimes some people come from New York and from out of town, from California.
Just to come here
New
to
Orleans.
learn tap. Like
Yeah.
they don't have those places there, or they just know you and they want to come and
Well,
see you.
they know of the program. They know we have a great staff. So we bring in some of the greatest tap dancers in the world,
Right.
and they come in to take classes from them. And then our festival, we're very inviting to people. Flint has a reputation for inviting people because we're always trying to make people welcome here. You know, we're a city in transition, and the community gives us a lot of support towards this effort through the foundations, the Ruth Mott, Charles Mott, Welch Foundations,
Oh, okay. Big money.
Rotary. We get a lot of support from the Flint schools, the Flint Public Library.
Oh, okay.
And we have media sponsors, Fox 66, and so we have a lot of support with the community is trying to be a city in transition. We're trying to make culture one of the areas that attract people to our city.
Oh,
You have
okay.
the Crim, the art fairs, so it's right within the master plan for bringing Flint back.
Right, right. So, Bruce, if anybody wanted to get in contact with you to maybe get in the classes or even come to any of these events, what would they do?
They should call 787-0197, or they can visit our website, tapology.org, to register.
Now, whose legs are these?
I do not know.
Those not yours?
No, those aren't my legs. I don't have socks like that.
I just want to know. Those are cute socks.
I know.
It may be just a picture from one of our classes. I don't know.
Somebody with some cute socks on. Those shoes are hard to walk in because, those things, remember back in the day when you put those on the heel of your shoes so they don't wear down? I slid down many times with those little things on the side of your shoes. And now they actually put them on there and expect you to walk in them.
Well, you dance them.
Oh, okay. I did it wrong. I was trying to walk in and should have been trying to dance in them.
Yeah, the metal covers the whole heel area.
Yeah.
And the portion of the toe. That's what you create your sound with. They're instruments.
They really are.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I want to thank you and Joyce for coming in today and just talking about Joyce's greatest adventures and your great adventures and this Tapology. I mean, I've watched it every year. I haven't been there yet, but
Well, we have a great show.
I'm going to try to make it. I keep saying I'm going to do that because I want to take my son to it. But I always seem like I forget about it or something, and I'll see it, and then the next day it's too late. It's like, oh, that was last week.
Yeah. Sunday, 7 o'clock, the 26th at the Whiting Auditorium. We have a great show. We have great musicians, great dancers. The community will be performing Mama Soul. Kevin Collins will be there with his African. We have African classes, Quinn Johnson. And we have great dancers that
Yeah.
you will enjoy.
Yeah, Mama
As
Soul
well
is
as the
really good.
Tapology Youth Ensemble.
Yeah, yeah. I really like to see those. I keep saying that, but this year, once again, I already know I won't be there, but I'm going to try to make an effort that next year when you guys do it, because you're doing it every year. So,
And tickets only $15, $10, and $5 for kids.
so I
so-
don't get a senior discount.
made the prices cheap enough for everyone to afford it. All right.
But that's not my senior discount.
No, we made the prices as such that the seniors can afford it. $10 ticket.
Oh, no, see, he calling me a senior. No, see, I may not be a
No,
senior.
you said you were senior. You said my senior discount. That was what you said.
I know. I keep trying. I got another year to go, and then I guess, what senior, 62, 65? What is, somewhere in
They
there?
keep on changing it.
Well, my
Well,
insurance say
seniors
55.
always older than you.
Well, not much older than me. See, I'm older than you think.
How do you know what
Tell
I
it.
think?
Tell it, for real. I'm older than what you think. How old do you think I am? And I don't even care because I love my age. You can guess. If you guess too high, you won't guess too high, though.
Well, you just said it was less than 62.
Yeah, I'm less than 62.
Okay.
So how old is less than 62?
What? I would say you're on 58.
Is that right? Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm 45.
Well, are you?
No, I'm 61.
Okay.
I'm 61. And I never lie about my age. I don't have a problem with it. So that's why I always joke around with people because nobody ever guessed my age and I love it.
Okay.
But anyways.
Do we have a few minutes?
Go ahead.
Okay. These are some things that are going on with Of Impact and the other committees that I'm,
Oh,
with.
okay.
Okay. Cherub, they're having a community blood drive at Bethel United Methodist Church. And that's at 1309 North Ballinger Highway. And that's going to be Tuesday, October the 28th, from 11 a.m. to 3:45 p.m.
Blood drive.
Yeah. Then we got the Genesee County Human Trafficking Task Force that right now, Joyce Haskett, a noted speaker, is at the Signature Restaurant from 12 p.m. to 1:30, I believe. And we had 21 bills passed in Congress pertaining to human trafficking.
Oh,
and
okay.
this year, which is phenomenal. Senator Emmons wrote most of those bills. Okay. And we have the Genesee County Veterans Council, which is having a meeting tomorrow at 929 Stevens Street at SSVF, which is Pam Gravet's. It's a veteran owned veteran business, and they have like a full shop of what they do for veterans.
Oh, okay.
And of course, Of Impact tomorrow is going to interview Bruce Batley with our talk show at 11:30. Okay.
You didn't forget, right? You didn't forget.
No, I haven't forgotten.
I was so nervous.
But you did awesome. She was great for both of you guys. And our recreational art program that we were talking about is going to be in Pontiac, and that's going to be this Saturday.
This
So
Saturday?
we're doing it with Women Serving Women Veterans.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, there you have it. And if anybody didn't get that, just make sure you call Joyce, and she can let you know what's going on with all of her many endeavors. So, and thank you and Bruce for coming in today.
Thank you for
And
Thank you, Lisa.
hope the tapology goes well, which I know it will. Hope your interview goes well, which I know it will. Did you enjoy this interview?
I did.
And we're supposed to be cousins, but he won't let me. He won't let me get the car or nothing, So.
Oh, one of those kind of
And
cousins.
he always hang up when I ask
Well-
money, so.
What cousin? 5, 6, 7?
Well, the Heitch family is that's not a common name.
It's
And-
not, because I
and
still have trouble saying it.
Right. And my grandmother was a Heitch.
A
And
Heitch.
Yeah, and she was from Tuscaloosa, Louisiana. So I think that, did you have roots there?
Yeah, well, the grandfather changed the name. He thought that if he changed it from HY, to HI, that it would be better with the spelling. Messed up people even more.
So it was supposed to be HY.
Originally it's HYTH.
Oh, and he changed it. So that's why I get hitchy. That's why I kept saying
That's the way
hitchy.
everybody wants to say hitchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Heitch. Okay. Well, what about Quaid? Where do you think that come from?
Sounds Indian too, though. Isn't it Indian?
Dutch and German.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But I married into it.
That's right.
I'm divorced out of it now.
You married in the Heights, didn't you? Okay.
I just kept Quaid because it's so unusual for a black person to have that name. Nobody ever knows. And my maiden name is Mays, and I always said I was related to Willie Mays, Mays. And then when I came up here and I read into Eric Mays, I was like, are we related? And he goes, no. I said, wait a minute. This was before I had met my father. So I was like, are we related? But we weren't.
Okay.
My dad they're from Bastrop, Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
And that's where the Mays, some people want to spell Mays, but it's Mays. But I like Quaid, so I just got rid of Mays and went to Quaid. And people call it Quad A and Quad and all that.
Are you serious?
And I was like, it's 5 letters. How you mess it up? And when they said Quad, I said, you don't want 4 of me. That's for real.
No, that'd be cool.
That'd be like Tasmanian Devil time 4. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming in. We're going to sign out now. Remember, we're allpointstv.com now, and you can see the show at allpointstv.com, or we'll have it also posted on YouTube. So it's Flaminpit, and we're out.